Robin Seafood, Wyclosky, Louisiana, November 2004. It was here that I began my inquiry into the oyster, the salty jewel of Louisiana seafood. Its rock-like appearance makes you wonder about the mental health of the first person to actually eat one. I found a thriving community of fishermen, seafood processors, and service station attendants. It was also my first trip onto Lake Bourne, a seafood fisher's most bountiful spot. The processing of oysters was still done by hand with a little help from technology. But each oyster was packed by experienced workers. There was even time to taste. It was a day of great images and proud people.
Lake Bourne was one of the best oysters.
But now this is Wyclosky. And this is Robin Seafood. As I explore the destroyed town, the air is thick with aggressive mosquitoes, despite the recent cold. There are only ghosts where life once thrived. Just how will the oyster industry survive in the wake of Hurricane Katrina?
I'm Norman Hedrick, Louisiana oyster fisherman. Actually, we call ourselves oyster farmers because growing oysters is so much like growing any other kind of food crop. The skies and winds and waters must favor me as any other farmer. My fields are the water bottoms, the unseen oyster reefs which lie beneath blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico, along hundreds of miles of marshy shoreline, beneath countless bays and lakes and shifting islands, which lie east and west of the mouth of the mighty Mississippi River, and make our 400-mile coastline the finest place in America for the cultivation of oysters.
In the years after this film, coastal erosion depleted the marshlands and destroyed the first line of defense against a hurricane's storm surge.
We just came out of a catastrophe. We're born in Louisiana. We love the Louisiana lifestyle, and to see the land deteriorate as much as it has, you watch these bayous that were great places to produce oysters that had a good salinity mix are extremely saline now, to where there was way too much salt water. The oysters won't grow. A lot of these bayous are caving in because the marsh has died and the currents have rerouted, changing the bottoms. Pretty much from Bayou Lafourche eastward to the mouth of the Pearl River had a lot of damage on the marshes of Louisiana. The passes have opened up so much more. Back of Empire, that Shell Island was opened a good bit already, but now it's wide open. Four Bayou Pass got a lot wider. The beach has really taken a tremendous beating, so there's a lot of salt water in these areas. The water is generally fairly fresh for this time of the year, but now is extremely salty because the seashore has opened up so much. Another factor is that a lot of your producers are out of business right now. Lost their homes, their boats and all, and they're just trying to get back online. As of now, no one started fishing on the west side of the river. They're supposed to start fishing relatively soon in the Empire area, but I was there this past week, hadn't had any boats in that area yet, but supposedly they're going to start pretty soon, so they're trying to catch back up.
Where we're at right now, this was solid ground. About 25, 30 years ago, this marsh started sinking, and it just accelerated every year more and more, and now we're sitting in 4 feet of water.
Dave also took me to the site of the Zibelich's family camp. The house is no longer there, and the surrounding area, which used to be dry land, is now all water. This spot used to be the most famous of all oyster spots, but it is now abandoned. We caught up with the crew of the Tino. Owned by Ante Lepetich, this is a typical oyster barge. They move in a circle, dredging the bottom and bringing up piles of oysters. They break up and sort the catch, and then put it into burlap sacks. When the line of sacks fills the boat, they call it a day.
I came from Croatia 1965. Then I started fishing oysters for my uncle, and after a few years I went with my cousin, two cousins, and we buy boat and we start our own business. I fall in love with these oysters, and I spend all my life, and I'm gonna be to the end of my life, I'm gonna be around with oysters.
Auntie's nephew Matt is more melancholy.
I don't think there's too many people gonna come after us. I mean, you know, my dad and them, they had 30 or 40, 50, 60 guys that did it. Now, my age, I might have 10 guys. So we're probably gonna be a dying breed. The storm definitely limited. It pretty much ruined everything but, this last little area that we have. So that's hard to take, We produced, really good last year. One of our best years we ever had. And this year, we won't even scratch the surface.
We got hit with the storm and we lost so much. But we're coming back. We have to fight again. So many times they happen a little bit, but not like this one. This one is hurt us more than any storm together to now.
I went through the storm, and I want to say now that I'm going to rebuild and do it again. I'm going to keep on going. But if I went through another one, I'd probably sell what I have and do something else.
I think that's the biggest problem is with the coastal restoration, freshwater diversion, and all kind of those things.
Knocked down all back there. So in essence, this is going to be a seashore very soon. That's the Gulf right there. There used to be a wide berm across there. But this was all solid beach before. It used to extend out of a quarter of a mile past this little island, all the way to them pylons out there. It was all solid sand. And it just, every time the storm comes, it just wash away more and more.
But even among the erosion and desolation, a new hope emerges. Here are federal government dredges that dig into the swamps and build back up the solid land. It may only be a patch, but it is an historic step in the right direction. Drago's restaurant in Metairie, Louisiana survived the hurricane, but depends on the oyster trade for their signature dish, grilled oysters.
We were very fortunate. We sustained some damage. We were able to quickly come back to work. We were in Metairie and not in Lakeview, or not in St. Bernard, or God forbid, Plaquemines Parish, where 6, 8, 10 feet of water. I mean, we didn't have any of that. A week after the storm, we started giving away meals, trying to use some of the food so it wouldn't go bad. We ended up giving away between in front of our door or in Lakeview 77,000 meals. That was done with no government money, nothing from the parish, nothing from the state, nothing from the feds, nothing from FEMA. That was our family, our friends, and most of all my suppliers that helped us get together and put together this massive relief effort that I was just fortunate I was the one driving the truck. I've seen Dallas and Austin and San Diego and Chicago and New York, but man, there is no place like Louisiana. We are just, the people here are so unique. They're so, I mean, the true definition of Southern hospitality, and that's going to come back. We have no choice but for that to come back. We're too strong of a people, and as far as our seafood industry goes, the same reason we got to where we were is why we're going to get back to where we are, is because of the product that we have. Nobody, nowhere can they produce oysters like we have here in Louisiana, period.
I spent the night at the Windsor Court this weekend, and right away, tourists walking in, first thing they want to know is, where can we go eat some good raw oysters? And those tourist dollars are very, very much needed in New Orleans. Yeah, we're fighters. We've got to come back. We can't stay down long. And you know, hopefully New Orleans will come back. Hopefully Louisiana will come back. Say nothing, do nothing, you are nothing. But no sooner you take that step forward, means it's coming positive. And you know, with the oyster industry, is the same thing. I think that the oyster industry is very influential to Louisiana. It's good for my family. It's good for my friends. I see people work hard and make a good living. Their children go to school and become professional people, but their parents were all oyster people. So it's, you know, I guess I just like the fact that a lot of good has come out of the oyster industry.